Hey, Kathy. Holy shit. God damn, is this thing loud? Whoa. Man, oh. Man, it sounds super loud. How's it on your end? Because, boy, it's blowing my eardrums out. Or is this stupid thing even working? Do we have a microphone? Because it's like, man, it's good on your end. Yeah, well, I'll tell you. Hey, TV. I went. I'm on Prism, and for some reason, on OBS, the chat got deleted. I could not get it said chat deleted by YouTube. But I have a chat in Prism. I don't understand. I tried to bring the chat back up in OBS and it wouldn't let me. So I had to shit can everything, go to Prism, which I haven't been on Prism in since I went to OBS. But here I am. What a disaster. And the camera's out of adjustment. I said, screw it. No. I never have mine set made for kids because I swear too much. As a matter of fact, that's the only way I could get the chat up in Prism was mark it not for kids. But in YouTube, I don't understand. I didn't make any changes. Every night I just shut down and I don't touch anything. Since I got OBS, all I do is just shut it down. Tonight, I go to bring it up and it says chat disabled by YouTube. I don't understand why. Yeah, I'll have to go in and mess with it tomorrow. I just wanted to, get the show rolling. So I'm using Prism. I wasn't able to go in and make a shitload of adjustments, so here I am. Now that I'm here, let's make it official. Broadcasting live from beautiful 38-degree downtown Cleveland. It's station WDWL TV, home of not one, but 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I am your host, the Grumpy Old Man. Oh, and we're brought to you by this asshole, Grumpy Vulture Productions. you know, I don't understand why it got, you know, deleted. Although I have noticed sometime with YouTube, it takes a while for them to catch up on some indiscretion. And the other night, when Rudy was here, his chats kept getting deleted. Because I noticed he put something in and then I don't know if he was deleting it or. Yeah, I notice you're a different number. You're 6560 tonight. Yeah, you know, TV, I've never really had much of a problem with YouTube. Although, like I said, you know, I don't do videos and stuff like that. But every now and then, like tonight. But what I don't understand is why it got deleted in OBS, but I've got the chat going in Prism. And I don't change the settings. Once I've got it set up, I leave it. And every night, all I do is I open OBS, I put in the new date, the title, whatever thumbnail picture, and then I hit start. And the chat comes up. Tonight, I hit start. I was waiting for the chat, and I didn't have no chat. And then I went into panic mode. So I shut OBS down, and I opened it back up. I checked my settings. Everything was the way it should be. I hit start, no chat. So I figured luckily, I didn't delete Prism out of this computer, and I was able to bring it up on Prism. Because, you know, as a matter of fact, I went into Docs and I clicked on chat, and it still would not open the chat. Because sometime, there have been a couple of times for some reason the chat didn't exist. And then I would go to Docs and then go down the line, you know, and see that chat wasn't activated. I'd activate chat and it would come right up. Tonight, it would not allow me to bring a chat up for some reason in OBS. I don't know if OBS doesn't like some things I say, but why would they eliminate the chat? It would be more like they would eliminate me. Tonight my chat got eliminated. It said disabled by YouTube. So I guess maybe tomorrow morning I'll have to go into my YouTube dashboard and see what the hell's going on. But if I pissed off YouTube, they would just delete me. See, I'm not, I'm still, you're more adept at this stuff, TV, than I am. You've been, like I say, you streamed the Senate floor earlier. I don't do that. I just come on live and do my thing. So I could see if I did something to piss off YouTube, they would disable me. Really? You mean YouTube? They gave you the old heave ho? See, oh, pardon me, aardvark in my throat. When I was running Prism all the time, for the longest time, I was able to broadcast on two platforms. I was on YouTube and Facebook. And then for some reason, my Facebook got deleted, and I can't bring Facebook back up on Prism. I got so pissed off with Prism, that's why I went to OBS. Boy, this microphone is... I don't know, maybe my gain is up too high. Oh, that was even worse. I'm getting an echo. I don't know why. I ran into this damn echo problem on here before. Long as the mic sounds all right on your end. I don't, no, I'm screwing the settings up. Just leave well enough alone, Grumpy. For some reason, I'm getting a... Yeah, that was another reason I got rid of Prism, because I get weird shit. Like, this was the main reason I got rid of it, because of the echo. And I should not be getting an echo with this microphone. Yeah, it's, like I said many times, TV, I need a 5-year-old kid to come in here and show me how to operate OBS, Because, I come across some catchy videos during the day, and I would love to put them up. Run them and do a commentary. I don't know how to do that shit. I read the instructions, and to me it's like a Chinese dictionary. Did we lose Kathy? Kathy, are you there? TV, it surprises me that you can do that and YouTube not say anything. Although, that's your government action, Hey, Kathy, I got some good news today. And we're not talking medical good news. We're talking some other good news. I'll have to do that, TV. My little cutie cashier that quit, they gave her a pretty good raise, and they begged her to come back. Because I saw her car in the parking lot, and I had just missed her. Evidently, I was going in the store and she was leaving. And I mentioned to one of the other cashiers, I said, I just saw Annie's car in the parking lot. And she said, oh, yeah, she's back. I said, what do you mean she's back? She said, they gave her a pretty hefty raise. They gave her a promotion to like department manager, and they gave her more hours. So I can't wait to go in and see her, because then I'm going to yell at her. I'm going to tell her, you quit, I go into a state of depression, and then you come back. No, I'm not going to yell at her. I'm going to be so glad to see her. Yeah, the girl at the service desk was telling me that what they did was way out of the norm for Marks. But she was such an outstanding employee that for the week and a half that she was gone, they realized what they lost. And the store manager called her and said, I want to have a meeting with you. And it was literally like, Annie, name your price. And Annie threw out a figure, and he went, okay. What else do you want? More hours. Okay. I want that promotion you promised me that you didn't give me for 6 months. Okay. See, I know this is the way they operate, because they're very shrewd. They don't want to pay anybody any more than is necessary. But when she quit, because she's gone almost 2 weeks, they realized what kind of productive employee she was. And they were like, whoa. As a matter of fact, her last day, she was telling me, I work my ass off. When I'm done with my department, I go over and help in other departments. I do things that I shouldn't be doing, like mopping floors and that, because she likes to stay busy. And they were paying her crap. So I'm going to be very happy to see her. Matter of fact, I think I'll go up to Mally's and get an assortment of candy bars and let her take her choice to welcome her back. Although, I'll tell you what, Mally's has got a candy bar. It's called Pretzel Crunch. Oh my God. I could eat a box full of them. You know, they make like Nestle Crunch with, you know, the Rice Krispies. And then they have this pretzel crunch, which is outstanding. And then they have, like, you know, like Hershey's, they have the almond bar. Because the factory is just up the street. Yeah, Kathy, I mean, they have lost so many excellent employees. I gotta turn this light off. It's irritating the shit out of me. Let me go to alternate plan B here. There. I set up this camera lamp to give me some illumination. It was frickin' blinding me. I'm experimenting with different lighting. You know, at that store, I have seen so many really great employees leave. And, you know, when she told me what she was getting paid an hour, I couldn't believe it. I said, what a cheap ass organization, you know. But they gave her a hefty raise, they gave her a promotion, and they gave her more hours. Because, see, a lot of these stores don't want to give 40 hours. Matter of fact, like 38, they won't go above 38, because when you get above 38 hours, you're considered full-time and you qualify for benefits. And Marks don't want to pay any more benefits than they have to. So I'm going to have to ask Annie if she got 38 hours. Because she, you know, the poor girl was working 3 jobs. 3 part-time jobs. I mean, that's how responsible she is. She saved up to pay cash for her car. Now she's got a, oh God, what year is that Kia Forte? It's either a 16 or a 17. But gorgeous condition, low miles. She paid cash, and she told me she paid her insurance for the year. But you know, Marks is known as a real cheap outfit when it comes to pay. And then they wonder why they can't get anybody to work for them. Matter of fact, they've got a big sign in the window when you come in the store, now hiring 15-year-olds. Because they got to keep dropping the age to get somebody to come in and work. Although I think 15 is the lowest that they can go. I don't think 14-year-olds, unless the parents sign a work permit. Well, yeah, her and I have had a lot of little chats. Like if she's stocking, we can talk. You know, when she's at the register, it's just a little chit chat, and you're on the way. And I had a lot of chats with her when she'd be stocking, and I mean, she even told me, you know, I'm gonna have to look for another job. I don't understand it, Kathy. I didn't think a 15-year-old kid could work part time. Now, I know back in the day when I was in high school, you had to get a work permit. And it was signed by the school, it was signed by your parents, and you could only work so many hours. Because I was quite shocked when I saw that. Now hiring 15-year-olds. I don't know what the labor law is, but Marx is getting away with it. And I mean, he's a big Ohio company, so I'm sure he would abide by all the labor laws. Christ, I think he's got like 100 stores now. Because he bought out, I think it was Bernie Schulman's. Yeah, maybe that's. When I see Annie, I'll have to ask her. Maybe, yeah, maybe that's what it is. You know, only work 3 days a week and 3 or 4 hours a day. It could be. Because I see a lot of young faces that I don't recognize any of them, you know. But it kind of made my day knowing that she'll be back. Not to mention, she's absolutely adorable. I actually told her, I said, you know, I told her, I says, why don't you look into a modeling agency? And she's like, oh, I'm not that pretty. I said, a modeling agency would pick you up in a heartbeat. But she's working at Mark's, and then she works for a pizza shop that I know, although they're too freaking expensive. And since the parents retired, the kids came in and ruined the pizza. Cheaper sauce, cheaper cheese, cheaper pepperoni, greasy meat. You know, the parents started a business, and their main thing was 100% good quality. And then it's a couple, I'll tell you what, it was about a month after they retired and the kids were running the business. I knew they were screwing with the pizzas. I knew it. Because I even said to them, I said, you change the sauce, you change the cheese, and I know you definitely changed the pepperoni. And they were like, oh, no. I says, oh, this don't taste like pizza. from, the original. I said, you guys are screwing with a good product. God, there would be people in line waiting for fucking pizza outside the door. Matter of fact, they begged people to pick up because they had so many goddamn deliveries they couldn't hire enough delivery drivers. I know I should be drinking crinkleberry juice, but I made a fresh cup of coffee, not paying attention to the time. Now I'm not going to waste a good cup of coffee. Yeah, I even bought more crinkleberry juice today. I'm going to write Ocean Spray and tell them they owe me a dividend at the end of the year. Yeah, let me plug this in. I'll tell you, I watched about 6 different court videos today. And man, I'll tell you, I don't know if the courts are getting cheap and they're not keeping boxes of Kleenex. Oh man, there's nothing more irritating than somebody sitting there going, blow your nose already. God, I was screaming at the one guy. It is so irritating. But the younger generation isn't like we were. And I'll tell you what, I don't leave the house unless I've got a handkerchief in my pocket. They're cheap. I pay $1 a piece for these. Oh, did you like McNally playing with that goddamn senior, that sovereign citizen? Oh my God, I was laughing my ass off. He was having a good time with the guy. Although you could tell he was getting the under his skin, but I love the way he played with that guy. I like when he told him, well, since Joe Fabitz isn't here, I'll just issue a warrant. Step away from my podium. And the guy's like, step away from my podium. I'm issuing a bench warrant. Step away from my podium. Then the guy finally admitted to who he was. I saved that one. I not only sent it to you, I sent it to myself so I can watch it again because I was laughing my ass off. I'll tell you another one. Judge Fleischer just loves to fuck with sovereign citizens too. I'll never forget when he got his first one. He was like, oh boy, I've been waiting for one of these. And you notice it's getting worse. There are more and more and more, although if you notice, not one of them has a driver's license. They all have suspended license, and how they get hooked up on the internet there was a guy, or I watched the video, was, I think Van Balen had it. And this guy had this universal driver's license. And it was all laminated and it looked real official. And he said, I can drive in 200 countries with this. And he spent like $250 to get this worthless piece of crap. And then the more research the cop did, he found out the guy had a revoked driver's license. But you know, they read this shit on the internet, and they I don't know how they convinced themselves they could get away with it. You know, this right to travel. Well, yes, you do have a right to travel on foot, by bicycle, bus, train, Uber, Lyft. You don't have the right to drive. Yeah, you can travel freely across the United States. You can't drive. There was one video, I can't remember, it wasn't Van Balen. And it was down in Florida. And this guy kept saying, I'm traveling, I'm traveling, I'm traveling. And the deputy sheriff said, take a look at your car. And he said, what do you mean? He said, look at your shifter. And the guy was like, yeah, okay. He says, is there a D for drive or T for travel? And the guy looked down and he went, there's a D. That means you're driving. Until your car says T for travel, you can't drive. And I thought that was kind of neat. Do you have a D for drive or T for travel? D for drive. But you're screwed. Step out of the car. Assume the position. But I got a kick out of McNally. Oh, God. I like when he said he was going to issue that bench warrant. He kept telling the guy, step away from my podium. And did you see him stop the sheriff, the deputy? Because the deputy came around and was going to arrest him, I think. Or drag him out of court. And he said, oh, Steve, hold on, hold on. Because the deputy just barely got within the camera range, and then he stepped back. But I think that deputy was going to drag that guy's ass out of the courtroom. And McNally stomped him. But that one's a keeper. I saved that one. That one's a keeper. I laughed more at that one than I did at Judge Fleischer when he got his first sovereign citizen. I figured you'd get a kick out of that one, Kathy. That's why I sent it. Yeah, Oodles, I'm not on OBS. OBS would not allow me my YouTube chat. it came up it was disabled, and I couldn't get the chat to come up. So in a panic, I went back to Prism, and the reason that I quit using Prism was because of this echo shit. No matter what I do with volume settings, I can't get this echo. And that was why I shit-canned Prism. But I didn't remove it from my computer, and thank God I did, because I wouldn't have been on the air. Because with the disabled chat, I don't know if anybody's here. And I don't know if you were already on, Kathy, because I said, I'll be back shortly. I got to straighten some shit out. And when I couldn't get, I don't know why my chat was disabled in OBS. It said YouTube chat disabled for this stream. I couldn't get it to come back up. So I went to my alternate Prism because the camera's not adjusted right, and I got this stupid echo. But at least I was able to get on the air tonight. Because I'm to the point where if I'm not on the air, I go into YouTube withdrawal. And I thank my lucky stars that I didn't delete Prism, because I was going to remove it completely. And then when I couldn't get the damn chat to work in OBS, I was like, bro, go to alternate plan B. So how you doing tonight, Oodles? How's the weather up in your end? We're at 38 degrees and crappy here in Cleveland. As a matter of fact, I have a new background coming. I found a little better. Now, I love this one. Believe me, it's very, very heavy cloth. It's excellent screen print. But I found one that has a little better view of Cleveland. It's a different shot. So you're going to see this background disappear. Just like Ron. Oh! It won't permanently disappear, but I kind of like the other one, but I know it's going to be cheaper quality, but it's got a little different view of the city. Matter of fact, I have two coming. I've got the different view of the city, and then I've got one that is it's taken from the east bank of the flats, and it's a picture of this bridge from end to end. And as everybody knows, this bridge has a lot of meaning to me. But the picture is down in the flats at the edge of the river, and it's the whole span of the bridge. And it's got some nice colors to it. Yeah, I got two. Timu. One $3, one $4.50. Clearance. Because you know I'm cheap. Yeah, last what was it? Last Wednesday or Thursday, I went in the clearance section looking at backgrounds, which I got more backgrounds than China's got rice. Oh, you got wind warnings too? Yeah, every now and then the red triangle flashes on my screen. Wind warning. Well, I'm glad to hear that I'm relaxing. That would have been the last word I would have thought anybody would say, Kathy, was relaxing. Although relaxing is a lot better word than boring. You're relaxing. I mean boring. I mean relaxing. I get what you mean. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. I can't wait to get the other microphone because the new microphone mount came today. It's a real sturdy mounting arm. And I can't wait to loosen. Yeah, because then that way I can put the other microphone on this stronger mount. So I got the cables, I got the new mounting arm. I'm just waiting for the mic to get here. Got more mounting arms than well, I knew what you meant. I mean, it's nice to hear that somebody can put the show on and I relax someone to where their eyes start to close. I appreciate that, Oodles. My neighbor to the north. Yeah, I got out my switch boxes and my fuse panel and stuff. As soon as the weather breaks, I've got to do some rewiring in the Passat. I got a better fuse box. Because what I do is I run a hot line from the battery. I've got a fuse box in there, an auxiliary, but it's a cheapie, and I wanted something a little better. So that came today. Because that way all my lights and my radios and everything are on a separate panel and it doesn't affect anything to do with the car. because I got to get working on putting the rest of my auxiliary lights on, my fog lights, and yeah, this is a quality fuse box. It's got its own separate ground. And that way I don't have to go to ground anywhere on the body. I can plug everything in right on this fuse box. And I have two wires, the hot coming off the battery and the neutral coming off the battery. And then nothing interferes with the car. Because I've been known to blow out some wiring, believe me. So as soon as the weather gets better, not to mention I got a nice auxiliary switch panel too, quality. I decided to spend a little extra money even though I'm cheap. I got a good fuse panel, I got good switches. Because believe me, I've screwed up some electrical One day I was driving down the street in the RAV, and I see smoke coming out of the dash, and I was like, oh shit. Pull over real quick, disconnect the battery. Popped open, pulled a bunch of wires. Luckily, I didn't screw the electrical system up. So I made a promise to myself, the next car, I'm doing it right. Because this thing's gonna last. I checked the oil, dead on, which I like. That engine isn't using a drop. Because they say turbocharged engines burn a little oil. Not mine. Right on the full mark. Although I hate that expensive synthetic oil. But I only have to change it once a year, so. Because the manual says every 12 to 15,000, and there ain't no way I put that kind of miles on. So I'll just do a once a year oil change, whether I need it or not. I have a friend. He changes oil twice a year. But he changes his oil filter every 2 months. I was like, why do you do that? He goes, I like to keep my oil clean. And his filter is upside down. He's got a Toyota. And the filter is like right there. And all he has to do is spin it off because it drains. So he pops the filter off, puts a new one on, changes oil twice a year, filters every 2 months. I think he's got like 250,000 miles on that car. It just runs and runs. Although two of the best engines are Toyota and Nissan. Consumer Reports has done many articles, and the what is it? Automotive Society of America, something like that. They say Toyota and Nissan engines are engineered to the closest tolerances they can get. And I've got one of each. Although the Toyota bit the dust. But matter of fact, the Nissan needs an oil change as soon as the weather gets better. Kathy, did I send you any Temu stuff today? I know I sent you yesterday or the day before. I came across some more eyeballs. I don't think I sent them. No, I didn't. Every time I see them eyeballs, I think of you. Although you got to order a set. Those would look cool in the back window of your F-150. Although I don't know what the police are like down in your area. They might not appreciate winking eyeballs. I'd be half tempted to order a set of them if I get the Corvette, put them in the back of the Corvette. Although I have to check and make sure that back window is glass. I'm pretty sure GM put glass windows in the convertibles. That flexible glass. Yeah, with the car being red, I get some red eyeballs. Oh, too many stickers in the back window to put us on eyeballs, huh? Oh, Oodles. I don't think you were here yesterday. I have to show you the license plate that I'm going to mount on the back of the Passat. I ordered some magnets so I could stick it on the trunk. Senior citizen driving stick shift, allow for rollback or crash. I can't wait to put that on the car. That should get somebody's attention. Yeah. Not every state is as flexible as Ohio. Because I think it's Is it Utah? Utah, Colorado. They don't allow anything. They write you a ticket for obstruction. You're not allowed to have no air freshener on your mirror. You're not allowed to have any stickers except the state approved stickers. No bumper stickers or anything in your back windows. You're obstructed vision. You'll get a ticket for obstructed vision. Arizona, because I remember watching A Friday with Frank, and a guy had a bunch of them little tree air fresheners hanging on his mirror, and he told the guy, he says, you got to take them off or you're going to get a ticket. Oh, yeah. Like I say, Kathy, Ohio, you get away with quite a bit of shit. But there's a lot of states, even fog lamps, they have to be like factory. You can't put, like me, with enough fog lamps to blind a 747. Because I guarantee there's a lot of states I could not get away with my green headlights. That would be a no-no. But see, in Ohio, they don't give a shit. Matter of fact, there's a girl that lives a couple of blocks over. She's got a, is it a Charger or a Challenger? I think it's a Challenger. I think the Challenger's the four-door. It's purple, and she has purple headlights. And she's got the purple underbody lights, but the headlights are purple. The turn lights indicators are purple. Everything's purple. A lot of states you couldn't get away with that. And like with me, with my green headlights, and then I have that pair of, they're ice blue fog lamps. When you turn them on, they've got a blue tinge to them. Although I have to watch because there's some cities that will, like Lakewood, I think they would ticket me if I had those. Because you're not allowed to have blue or red facing forward. But I mean, I see trucks with red turn signals, blue turn signals, blue headlights. And like I say, this girl up the street with her purple headlights. And boy, they are purple. I don't know where she bought them, but man, they are purple. I don't know how she can see at night. Although my green ones aren't that bright at night either. But soon as the weather changes, I've got another set of bulbs that are brighter to put in. As soon as the weather gets better, I got to go up to pull apart and take my chop saw and hack up some front bumper so I can mount my fog lights. Although I looked up today, I've got the number for Volkswagen of America, customer service. I'm going to call them and ask them why they only show one bumper cover and they don't show any fog lamp mountings. They show the fog lamps and they show the grills, the bezels. They don't show any mounting brackets. Now, them things just don't hang in imagination. They have to mount to something. Matter of fact, the one car at pull apart, the bezel is missing and the fog lamp is right there at the edge of the bumper. So I'm going to have to go up there and whack that bumper apart because I've got that factory fog lamp kit that I want to install. Now I'm going to ask Volkswagen, hey, they come from the factory with factory fog lamps. I bought the factory fog lamp kit. How come you don't show the brackets to mount the fog lamps? I called 4 different Volkswagen dealers. Nope, they don't exist. I said they have to exist. The fog lamps come from the factory. Nope. Yeah, the guy, I showed you. The guy went into an old parts manual and printed me the page. And it's one bumper cover and no fog lamps. Oh, they tolerate your rock lights? Really? Although I tend to think you probably couldn't get away with a underbody kit and I'm sure you've driven past enough police cars and deputy sheriffs where they'd have stopped you by now. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the guy at Ganley Volkswagen told me he was going to keep an eye out if they got like a 2000 or 2001 or 2002 Passat in for service that had fog lamps, and then he could go out and look at it. So far, he hasn't called me. But I'll tell you what, he went above and beyond. Because I called 2 VW dealers previous, and they just blew me off. And he said, as soon as I go on break, I'm going to go in the back. We've got actual manuals, parts books. He said, I'll look up the bumper cover and I'll email you a copy. And he did. Well, Kathy, it's like if I was to drive into Lakewood, I could drive past 5 police cars and nobody would bother me, but then you get that frickin' rookie that's out to make a name for himself, and he'd be the one pulling me over. I mean, I drive past Cleveland police cars all the time. I get nervous as hell, but They don't care. Christ, I could probably be speeding past them and they wouldn't give a shit. Me write a ticket? Oh, no, not for me. Yeah, it'd be your luck, Kathy. You'd get a cop having a bad day. You know, his wife didn't make him coffee in the morning. He left the house with piss in one eye and vinegar in the other. And, oh, look, she got rock lamps. Whoop, 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 whoop. It'd be my luck. Rookie pulled me over, jerked me out of the car, beat the fuck out of me. Have a nice day, sir. Here's your ticket. Sorry about that lump on your head. I got carried away. My girlfriend pissed me off. She didn't text me this morning. And it's your fault. Yeah. Parma, Lakewood, Rocky River, Westlake. Those are suburbs I'm staying out of until I'm legal. And then I'll make sure that I don't have the fog lights on. Although it'd be my luck, they'd say, oh, they look blue and they're on the front end. Pull over. Because they do. They're kind of scary because they're blue. But when you turn them on, they're what they call ice blue. They have a tint, but they're blue. A lot of times they'll write you a ticket, even though you're insured, because you don't have it on your person or on your phone. And then you go to court and you present it, and the judge voids the ticket, but they give it to you anyway, just to be assholes. That's why, like, my policy renews every 6 months. And I'll get that email from Progressive, and it'll say, do you want insurance cards? And I say yes, because I want that hard copy. And then I have one of them. It's like a kid would carry for pens and pencils. It's a little zip, like clear plastic envelope. I have a copy of my title. Well, not in the Passat. And then I have my insurance card. And I have my registration. Everything's in that little folder, and it's right in the pocket of the door. See, for the longest time, there were a lot of states that would not accept your insurance on your cell phone. They wanted to see the hard copy. Now I think every state, because every insurance company has got an app. I have the Progressive app on my phone, just in case. But right in the door pocket is that clear, and like I say, like the Nissan, I got a copy of the title, I have the registration, and a hard copy of the insurance card. Right there. Because, well, they tell you don't need the title, but you might get a cop that turns into an asshole. That's why I can't wait to get them. I'm going to have to email that goddamn attorney again. Christ, I bought that car in September. September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Jesus. How long does it take goddamn court to process this thing already? If it wasn't that it's an hour and a half drive, I would drive to frickin' Wadsworth myself. Say, hey, Judge, sign that goddamn form already, will you? Good to the last drop. Matter of fact, it was so good I bought another box. Salimo dark roast. Never heard of it. Tried it. Loved it. Ordered another box. 24 pods. I think I paid $13. Bargain. I love it. Oh. I thought something was sticking me in the head. My goddamn ear stud. I forgot to take it out. Ow, 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 ow. I wondered what was sticking me in the side of the head. I have to cut this one down. I have to shorten it. It's too long. Stabbing me in the side of the head. Here we go. Grumpy's Diamond. Zirconium. But the damn stem is too long. Man, I wonder what was stabbing me in the head. Because usually I take it out just for that reason. I have to show you the other one. Do I have it here? Yeah, this one. I get more looks. It's an eyeball. Somebody says something, I say, well, I've got a seeing ear. I have my ear on you. Oh, they feel much better. I couldn't figure out what the hell's stabbing me in the side of the head. Usually I take and I clip them. Get out my little wire cutters and shorten them studs because they're so long. Oh, you like the eyeball? Where did I get the eyeballs from? I got them off of Temu. Yeah, I got the eyeball off of Temu. I think it was $2. Yeah, I got them off of Temu. They have a whole, just type in jewelry or, you know, ear studs or earrings. They had a shitload. Because I have that one, And then I have a bloodshot one. Yeah, the eye is bloodshot. Yeah, I ordered the eyeballs and the regular. I ordered the bloodshot eyeballs. Oh, I'll have to look. I ordered a bunch of shit. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Get it tangled up in the wire. Where's my green one? There it is. I keep them in the corner of the console over here. Yeah, I get a lot of comments on this one. The emerald green with the... Come on, camera, focus. You get the idea. No. Easy. You'll drop it in the ashtray, dickhead. Yeah, every time I go out, I put in a different one. Because the other day I had the eyeball, and then the next day I had the bloodshot eyeball, and then the green one. Oh, the gaudy one. You'll love the gaudy one, Kathy. Hang on. The gaudy one. Yeah. That's a huge one. I don't care. I like the looks I get. The eyeball one was cool because there was one day there was a woman standing behind me and she goes, "Is that an eye?" Yeah, it's a seeing ear. The look she gave me was like, yeah, I got that blue one. I think that was $3 for the pair. That one was a little more, but they were on clearance. I ordered the eyeball, the bloodshot eyeball, that one. I'll have to look through my little case. I like to switch them off. Mainly because for the longest time I didn't. And I got an infection. Plus, I have to watch. Anything I think is going to turn my ear green, I don't buy. I have to look for the ones that say surgical steel or something, surgical stainless. Yeah, the cheap ones, they'll turn your ear green in a heartbeat. So I kind of watch. Hey, you're late. You're late. I know, looking up and feed me. Your pink nose is really pink tonight. Pink nose, you got a pink nose. He's like, never mind the nose, feed me. All right, all right. He's doing that in my leg. Bill. Me and cables tonight, jeez. All right, everybody. Thanks for following me over on the Prism. I'm going to have to figure out what the hell went wrong with OBS and why my chat got... All right. Everybody, thanks for being here, following me around the internet. And we will meet again right here tomorrow night. And remember, we're the home of not one, but 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And with that, we'll only have one see you tonight because Prism don't demand 2. All right, thanks for being here. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.